It's always the day.
You're hoping for it. Yeah.
Okay. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. I don't see any changes to the agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the agenda as presented.
We have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
First item on our schedule is indigent.
Chantel Laulu with Indigent Services. The first case that I have for you this morning is case number 2022-0065. This is an application for cremation expenses submitted through Davis Rose Mortuary in the amount of $1,200. The application has been submitted by the mother of the deceased, and all the information obtained was from the mother as well as the state's website. The applicant is a 52-year-old female who is applying for cremation expenses of her 35-year-old daughter. The deceased is a 35-year-old female who lived by herself, is a Bannock County resident, was not a veteran. With the information that we did obtain, it does appear that the deceased meets all Idaho Code criteria to be eligible for assistance through the indigent program. Bannock County does appear to be the last resource for payment of this request. The applicant has agreed to a $25 a month repayment plan upon approval of this application.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve case number 2022-0065.
Have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, for the following cases, they were each placed in suspension pending a final determination of a possible resource. We have been unable to obtain information in regards to the status of the pending Social Security application, so our recommendation is a denial of these applications pursuant to Idaho Code 31350225 for case numbers 2016, 0111, 0147, 0185, 0272, 0273, 0279, 0314, 0321, and 2017, 0056.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the cases as presented be denied.
We have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, looks like we'll go to our resolutions.
Got a little ahead of ourselves today.
So we have Resolution 2022-5, denial of this for the City of Lava Hot Springs appeal. Resolution number 202214, approving salaries for January 2022. Resolution number 2022-24, approving March 2022 alcohol licenses. Resolution number 2022-30, approving March 2022 salaries. Resolution number 2022-32, approving tax cancellation requests. Resolution number 2022-45, authorizing the destruction of financial documents for the University of Idaho. Extension, resolution number 2022-46, increasing petty cash funding for bonds and fines. And resolution number 2022-47, adopting Bannock County Grant Management Manual.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the resolutions as presented.
We have a motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. for signature only, service agreement with Airmark out at the jail.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the service agreement as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have grant agreement with Idaho Office of Drug Policy. This is also through the Sheriff's Office.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the grant with the Idaho Office of Drug Policy as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have a tax cancellation request from the assessor's office. One for homeowners exemption. Homeowners is
Yep.
exemption.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the homeowners, or the tax cancellation as requested.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have Independence Day vendor contracts.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the contracts as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then we have May 2022 Commissioners' Proceedings.
That one is done. And then, Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the proceedings as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. All right. Looks like Wood Court.
Yes.
Come on up.
Let's roll.
How's everybody?
Another fun and joyful day.
Love and life.
Very good.
Better weather.
Went and washed my truck this morning. No wind, no dust, okay?
Just wait 5 minutes, then we can blame it on you.
All right, go ahead and introduce yourselves and
So I'm Katie Avahauser. I am the Wood Court Coordinator.
I'm Judge Gabiola. I'm the presiding judge over Wood Court.
okay. Tell us why you're here.
We are here to request that you guys accept the letter for funding to go through the county. It is awarded by IDOC, and I have provided the letters that Josh and Brian Underwood have signed.
Okay. And this is a standard and customary occurrence. This is not out of the ordinary, correct?
Nope, that's correct.
Okay.
You are correct.
All right. I'm good with it.
Yeah. I
Legal's
read
good
through
with it.
Looks good to me.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve signature of letters from IDOC as requested.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So, do you have a different copy that somebody else has already signed than the one that I have here?
No, the one I have is a copy from Brian Underwood's signature.
Yep,
Okay, okay. So I'll just sign this one.
beautiful.
Okay?
Thank you
That's
so
it.
much for
Easy
your
and
Thanks,
time.
simple.
Judge. Appreciate it.
I think, did Jason sign that under financial officer?
Oh. Bannock County Financial Officer, right there.
Sign it. Sign it. All right.
All right.
Here you go, Ernie.
Matt?
Let's do this.
Good morning. My name is Matt Olson, Director of Bannock County Juvenile Justice. I'm here requesting a signature from the Commission on a memorandum of agreement between Bannock County and the Department of Juvenile Corrections. This is for community-based alternative services funding as well as substance abuse delivery service funding. This is a MOU that we've had in place with Department of Juvenile Corrections for a number of years. They just asked that we get a new one about every 3 years. And so two main funding sources we use this for is treatment for youth who have been adjudicated on a sex offense. And then we use, obviously, the substance abuse delivery service money for assessments for kids with substance abuse issues as well as treatment. The majority of these funds go to residential substance abuse treatment services. And we do use some of this funding for education for kids who don't meet the level of treatment requirements, but do need some education to hopefully prevent further substance use and abuse. So our award this year on that was $124,000. As of the end of May, we've spent $78,427, so about 68%. So.
I'll give it. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agreement and authorize signature with the Community-Based Alternative Services Program as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. Jason signs that too.
Sorry. Thank you, boss.
Thank you.
All right, Todd.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, Todd Mager with Bannock County Juvenile Justice, and we're here today to discuss the Safe Teen Assessment Center grant that we were awarded last week. First off, I want to thank the commission and everybody that helped out with the grant. Dan Kendall had a large part in helping us secure it with information he provided, and Christy and the whole crew, as well as Nancy. But when we had came in for the grant award, there was some questions on locations, and I think it's important that we know that the purpose of writing the grant was to do what's right for the county first and foremost. And so in looking at the different locations, I feel like we can make any of them work based on the location itself. And so I was going to let Dan talk a little bit about what he's going to come up with.
Sure. We looked at 4 locations: Lander, the Iron Triangle, the Event Center, and then the Annex parking lot. And we feel like the Annex parking lot is probably going to be the best bet. We brought some reasons of why. The Lander building has residential lots on 2 sides, and it creates some issues, especially if we're going to be doing late night drop-offs and that kind of thing, which I'm sure will happen at some point. Want to be a good neighbor and not disrupt the neighborhood, and it also comes with a few setback rules that kind of limit what we can do. But parking is an issue on that one. I did visit with the city planner, and he had some concerns, but the other ones we looked at, Iron Triangle is not for sale. The Event Center we feel like was too far away. With the Annex parking lot, I would propose that we go forward with closing off the 6th Street. Something we've talked about in the
It's
past.
still in the works right now.
They've actually, it supposedly was getting ready to get sent to the city at any time to close that off.
I'll be in here later. We'll
Okay,
report.
We'll have a conversation and make sure it works.
I think that frees up where we can put this Safe Teen Center. There's some.
You just can't block the front of the elections office. That's the only thing, is you just gotta make sure that that's the only thing in that parking area. It's just a driveway to where they can drop off ballots, and that's only 2 times a year.
Yeah.
So
I
just,
think it'd be wise to come up with a master plan for the entire block, just so we're not putting this building somewhere that's gonna hinder progress in the future. And just, it could be a simple, layout of what we wanna do in the future, but we want this building to complement it and not hinder, progress. But that's kind of what we came up with. We feel like
where was the city at on the Clark and 6th Street?
it has the least amount of setback rules. It's all commercial, so it freezes up. I think, once we close the 6th Street off, then we're free to, we could put that building in, 3 different locations and the way it faces.
Yeah.
I think it frees up some rules. Right now, they want it faced towards the alley, which I think is probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
But there's some ordinances about, the busy streets and that kind of thing. There's a reason behind what they do, but by closing that road off, it kind of frees us up to take the spot that we want. And that way we don't have to tear down a building. All of our utilities are right there, ready to go.
Okay.
That's kind of what we've been working on.
So in the last meeting as well, we weren't sure if we could do a grant change request. I've contacted the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections, and we are able to do that. One of the things that was written into the grant was $72,000 for the demolition of that building. So,
And that's less than a 10% change. I mean, even with that, I mean, you should have been.
well, they would appreciate if we'd use every amount that we had requested.
Oh,
So-
we'll use every amount.
So-
I'm not saying-
so what I'm saying-
I'm not saying that we won't use it. I'm just saying we're not gonna use it tearing a building down. We're just gonna use it for something else.
They have 5% change.
Yeah.
10 like standard.
Yeah. The one question I have on that grant, though, is just to make sure, is that a drawing grant, so is a pay-as-you-go grant, or is that all at the very end? As I read through that, it was kind of murky.
It is murky, and in talking with Jason Stone
Uh-huh.
and Holly, who are over it, they understand that my understanding was they will give seed money as we need it, and so it's something if we know, to get started, we're going to have the engineering, designs, architectural, we can request that seed money up front.
Is there any chance of getting an extension?
So
The reason I ask is I did some phone calling to some people. Concrete's being rationed right now to 20 yards a week, unless you're a government federal agency like the site. That's why it took so long to get Arctic Circle in the ground and all these other ones. They can only send 2 trucks a week.
yeah, I know they were under the gun.
I'm a little freaked out.
I know, yeah, so am I, and we looked at that when we thought about applying, and I talked to them because just the pure fact that it was open and
Yeah.
closed, and then had to have the money spent by July 1st, 2023.
See, if they'll pay as they go, and we can close the grant, even if we have to close the grant out as close as we have, it mitigates the risk then of what the county could be on the hook for, because the
Right.
nightmare scenario is we go through and everybody works really, really hard and we get everything done, and there's a cement truck or something that hiccups somewhere and we can't get something complete till July 15th. We missed the grant. The state changes, they just flush the budget then at that point, and then the county's on the hook for the total project cost.
Yeah,
And that's just my only concern is, and that's why, like, if you're going in that parking lot, removing demo, removing anything that can be a hindrance and a time suck, it's just as we're looking at that, if we can have them pay the county as we go, because then we're not on the hook. Because then, to tell you the truth, at the very end, if, hey, we're not complete with construction, but we have $200,000 that we have to work out or come up with, or, that's a little bit better pill to swallow than 1 point.
yeah, I would hope that they would work with us on that end, and at the end of June, if there's money still left and things aren't done, that they could provide that
Okay.
then.
I mean, like I said, and this was Tuesday when we approved it. If we had a different location, great. Otherwise, we were going to have to go at Lander. I think, as I look at it, as I talk to Dan, I seriously think that parking lot is the fastest option. I mean, I really do. I think that's the RFP went out, or excuse me, RFQ went out, and it's been posted on Facebook. It went up on Friday. I've actually had people message me, and I've said, you need to, I hope we get and can push that as fast as possible. And as soon as we can have engineering plans designed, it's go time.
So are we going to do quarterly reporting and reimbursements then?
Yeah, yes, but I think we can request seed money to get started with the
Quarterly
engineering.
reimbursements are better.
Okay,
That's fine.
whatever's best
Yeah.
for,
Well, if we do seed money, then we got to report how it was spent. We might as well just do quarterly reporting and get reimbursements
Yeah.
that way.
Okay.
And it's just reporting once and getting the money in. We confront, quarterly. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
That's how we do most of our
Cool.
others.
And the funny thing is I drove by that parking lot a couple times after our conversation, and all the cars that are parked there are all like county vehicles that never move.
Right.
I put rocks on a couple of their tires on Wednesday. I came back, I went and walked over there this morning, and they're still there. They haven't moved. So, I mean, I actually think that would be the best spot, because like I said, sooner or later, we're gonna scrape that building over there. And once that building goes away, you'll have all your parking, your security, and that was the point that you guys brought up about not having it up on the hill. I mean, the Highland Hill would actually be the easiest, that would be the, best spot, land, whatever you need, but then your security issues if you have to have
Yeah, I
and transport to juvenile justice area. The Lander area, no one just, I had a conversation with the planner. He sits on a committee with me, and I talked to him Wednesday, and they really don't like anything close to it. Any residential right now, they get so much pushback from neighborhoods, and it doesn't matter what it is. And so,
I like the position where we're at over here a lot better. And then, but I do agree with you that we need to look at a master plan. And we could kind of incorporate that, but we need to move as quick as possible to move forward too, so.
I think you
I
could
don't
base,
want that to be the holdup
Right.
as we're trying to move forward.
I think you could base your master plan off the location of that building. That building would kind of be the anchor pin that would start kind of, okay, what are we gonna do? Because this is the new, you know, what's going on. The big thing that's gonna like I said, we gotta go. I mean, there cannot be. The other thing too is we gotta be very mindful. I talked to some people. There's a couple different projects that were remodels and new builds, and they were averaging over $375 a foot right now, excluding land cost. So if it's still that high, I mean, if it comes back at $400 a foot, 4,400 square foot building, you're over $1.6 million, and we're gonna have some adjustments. The big thing is as soon as you guys get those plans set of what you wanna have built, there can't be any change orders because that'll slow us down. And it's just gonna have to, I mean, I hope you could have footings in the ground by September, end of September.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could,
Yeah.
but it's all, you know.
Nice to get right in before winter.
Well, I think we've already had a couple people that have contacted Chanda's office as well for that, which is encouraging, because I always have this nightmare with RFPs and RFQs that they're too busy.
Yeah.
Well, then we have to have a public works contractor to put the whole thing together. And there's, what, 4 of them in Bannock County? 5 of them? So. Oh,
I like the location over here.
Let's go.
Let's move forward with that.
Thank you.
That's my opinion.
Yep, I don't think we need a motion on that. We already approved it.
On record.
It's on the record. Go forth and get it done. All right. The clock's ticking. You only have, T minus, 10 months, 29 days, something like that.
End of May.
End of May. All right, hey, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You can send that,
Oh.
MOU, and I'll send it to get signatures from the president.
Yeah. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I went back to the cabin. I played around with it a little bit.
Was Carrie coming?
She's sick today, so I can chat about it.
Okay, you're up.
All right. So downstairs in archives, there is a microfilm scanner that they kept when we got new ones. Probably well, the previous clerk was here. It's been at least 6-7 years ago. They got new scanners that are digital scanners. This is an old one, and they kept it as a backup. They've never used it, never turned it on since they got the new one. We do have a secondary backup up in the recorder's office. They have the same machine as they use currently downstairs, and so this is just a paperweight. So I'd like to
The auction pile?
see if there's a library that we could donate it to or something like that. If there is a library somewhere that would like it. If not,
Bannock Historical Society Museum.
yep, so that's on the list.
Also, well, Adam can recycle it.
And then-
That's
Yeah.
what she has here. So.
And then if not, then Adam will recycle it, but.
No, I'm good with that. Whoever we need property disposition.
I think that it will probably end up being recycled. It's 1,000 years old.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the Canon microfilm scanner as indicated by the clerk be disposed of either by means of charitable donation or recycling.
Got a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 There you go.
Okay.
Bureau of Justice. Yep.
Okay, Christy Clauser, Bannock County Comptroller. You have the SCAP Award in front of you. This is just an annual renewal on one through Office of Justice Programs. This is one of those grants that the chairman gets to work with Michelle on, and I believe we have to go online. She's talked to you, right? Michelle has? She needs you to come down and visit with her so that she can get this submitted through.
Yeah.
I saw my name on here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
meet with Ernie.
Yeah.
But this is just
Meet with Ernie.
just one of our
That's a good
other-
message.
yeah, one of our recurring grants. This does, if I remember correctly, Sheriff's Office gets monies for, I gotta find the right terminology, alien assistance programs. So we get money through the jail if we have any qualifying individuals.
Is that space or a border? Just ask.
Yes,
Yeah.
the latter.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve signature for the 2020 Bureau of Justice Assistance for State Criminal Alien Assistance Program.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 And then if you will follow up with her,
I'll meet with
this is
her.
one of your fun ones.
Okay. Thank you. We're a few minutes early. So let's go ahead and do salary rate approval forms. I had a couple of questions on these.
Okay.
So there's the D6 treatment one.
That one, I spoke with Ashley, and what we ended up doing on that one is putting that individual at the entry-level treatment counselor position because we do not have staffing for a senior. And then we did the stipend, which is equivalent to what one of the other individuals left at. I received an email Friday morning requesting to get that dollar amount closer to $24 an hour through the stipends. I let her know that she needed to come before the board, but that this, I thought you guys would pass through because it's within budget. So it's just one of the vacant positions available. That individual left, and so, but we're starting her at minimum grade 10.
Okay.
The stipend is a little bit more than some of the other entry-level people, but she does have experience, so that might offset a little bit with the wage she wanted. So I'm not sure if this will come back before you. Ashley's on vacation. I just said she would have to justify it.
And Christy, where is this in comparison to what she was making like 3 weeks ago before she left?
When she left, she was at grade 11, step 1. Now she's grade 10 minimum,
Well,
Plus the stipend.
plus the stipend.
I
But
hate-
she had the stipend before too. I don't remember what that
I
stipend
hate to
amount
say
was.
this though, but you quit and left.
Right,
And so that's the problem that I have here is,
yeah,
sorry, I mean,
yeah.
now if they want to readjust and can have money in their budgets and the courts want to pay for it, that's a different discussion. But,
But then that opens a can of worms for next year.
Yep.
And who the courts have money to
well, and
subsidize
but
this
that's what I mean
program.
though. That's what I'm saying then, is if the courts have money to subsidize this program, the courts should be paying for this program then, for everything.
I agree.
Yeah,
Sorry.
This one just didn't seem to have all the reasoning and the stuff that the others
right.
have, and so,
And that's because it's back at a base minimum. And like I said, through the correspondence, she was fine with it on Thursday night, and then she must have thought about it more and had thought about wanting to adjust it. But like I said, I told her she needed to come before the board and request any adjustments.
okay.
So
Again, like I
she may
said,
be in, she may not.
if they want to pay for it, that's fine. But they got to pay for it. It can't be just,
And then we'll have to address how to pay for it next year too.
well, again, if they want to pay for it, they're going to commit to it then.
Yeah.
And there was these other two, they were both new hires.
For which, jail?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so, I guess what was marked was, one had no and one had yes on how it affects next year. I just thought it was kind of interesting to,
Oh, this is part-time admin records. She replaced somebody that had more seniority, so we've got a little bit of savings in there.
okay,
And then this one is just the communications dispatch. And there was no, we've been having a little more turnover within our dispatch. So that individual she's replacing was at minimum.
so they're a new
So-
hire, not a new position.
No, yeah, no new positions.
Okay,
Just trying to get dispatch filled.
They have multiple vacancies.
okay. A motion on salary approval forms.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the salary approval forms as presented.
We have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then we have minutes for June 10th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve minutes as presented.
Motion, all in favor, say aye. Aye. And with that, we're back to Kyle.
Right on time. 1 minute. Clear. Cruising. Morning, everybody. Kyle Burmester, Bannock County Public Works Director. I've got a few things to present before you today. I'll kind of go with what was on the list. We'll start out with the State of Idaho contract. This is an agreement that was made in 2019 with the Center for Disease Control. This money comes through the State of Idaho Department of Health and Welfare for the surveillance and speciation for mosquitoes, so that we can see what their how our spray's doing on them, and we're testing for West Nile and everything like that. We usually use this money for our speciation part-timer that we hire. We can use it for a few different things, but whichever's the easiest way for us to report is how we try to do it.
So do we have this built into the budget? You want me to tell you?
Sure.
I don't have it separated out, but we have temporary sprayers. So if you're going to use this for salaries, if you'll just let us know and make sure that individual clocks it through Nova time. If she doesn't clock it through Nova time, it can't be used.
Okay.
If you're going to use it for operating,
No, is there no note in operating?
you can do it either way. I just need to know how you're going to do it so that
Yeah,
we
I know
can
it's
track
been
for it.
one way and the other way. We don't really care which way it's easiest to go through grant.
You tell me what your plan is. It's your grant. I just need to know. Do you want to do operating?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you turn something in, just make sure Michelle's looped in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Questions?
No, I'm good.
Motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the, what is that? The contract, latest, what's that? Oh, yeah, the contract amendment with the State of Idaho is presented.
A motion, all in favor, say aye.
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 Next is a interagency agreement with the city of Aramo. They're needing a little bit of help with some sections of their road that are getting very bad, so we were trying to look at if we could schedule it that we're in the vicinity, so it'll be a limited time for us, you know, out of our schedule to do it. It's not a very, it's around about 4/10 of a mile. It's not a very big one. They would be paying the asphalt company for all materials, and then Bannock County for the labor and equipment.
My only question on this one is how come they didn't come in and talk to us like the City of Income did? City of Lava, or Aramo?
Probably because they didn't.
I mean,
They,
when I read it,
they
it's
were probably out farming.
the first time I see it, you know.
I don't.
And we haven't had any conversations about it, you know.
I'm okay with it. I mean, if they're out there and you're already mobilized and you're doing stuff, that's just especially the cost of fuel. It's one of those things. I'm okay with it as long as they're covering costs. Yeah, it's hard with the little projects because it does take away from our schedule. Something this small and stuff, we figured it wouldn't hurt us too bad. No. Well, and like I said, that's the problem with them is they don't even get contractors to bid on stuff like this. It's too small. They have asked.
And I agree, it's just that we have.
Yeah, we should have had
You
them
know,
come. The mayor
how
should
many,
come talk
1,
to us.
2, 3, 4, 5 small cities out there. We treat them all the same.
Yeah. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the interagency request work order form as requested.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 And they kind of asked, and I'd have to get with legal a little bit and stuff and dig into that more, but if the county wanted to take over all of the maintenance for Airmo, because they're so small, but.
No.
Yeah,
No.
the amount of
No.
money you get for that.
As long as they're an incorporated city.
Yeah.
No. Just plain simple.
Okay. And for the gas to energy system at the landfill, this is our agreement with buyers to buy our RINs. The RIN production and sales is not through EPA currently, so this is just getting us set up for when the EPA finally signs off on it, which is late fall, early spring.
Okay.
And we are set up with Regis, which we will try to, we'll have anybody we need involved with that in the contact information, so auditing, whatnot. And so we're looking at about 300,000 potentially next year, but that's just operating at where we're at right now. That's going off of the power production. So in the next couple of months, when we start to ramp up our second engine, we could double. Well, I wouldn't say double. We'll make more. So this contract is as many as we can produce for them, they'll pay for.
Do we have an estimated revenue? I forgot to ask that earlier. Any idea of how much money this is going to bring in so I can anticipate it next year?
Just for next year?
Yeah. Is there a dollar amount I can?
They were saying, depending on when it got enacted, to be safe, they're saying like 250.
250,000 a year?
Well,
Or,
For the first year.
for the first year, and then it's gonna go up every year.
okay.
Because depending on what month they start to sell them, you took out a few months already, so it's gonna be a little down
Okay.
this next year.
Okay. I just.
But then it'll, I think once we get started, then we'll be able to kind of see how we're gonna
Like we did with the gas system.
move up, yes.
Okay.
It's kind of the same thing.
Okay. I just wanted to try and plan something.
Yeah,
Then that way you can actually maybe get more of your budget requests without.
so that along with the, once we start the second generator, right now, we're starting to do an analysis, and we'll have that, not to get in the weeds, but we're trying to be about real close to neutral right now. If we get the second motor, that's not gonna completely double what we're making, but we got a projection sheet that I'm working on right now, and like say we have different months that pay higher than other months. So instead of 50, it's projecting, and that's a real safe number, we're projecting around in the 80s. And on our higher months, from 80 to about 140,000 per month. So making around 800 and something and change right now per year.
It only takes, what, like 75 years to recoup our investment?
So if it has that, and the projections have been pretty close though on that. And so if you're starting to make that with the two,
Yeah.
we went through all this time of spending the money to get to this point to start paying things off.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the contract for the electrical production data and rec purchases and sales agreement as presented.
Have a motion, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you Hal today?
I guess, he said he was coming, but
Well, we
I
can
can
take
take
recess
care of
from
it.
We're early, or way early. Please.
Go ahead and put us at recess.